Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another live stream of Junie. And today we're going to do some testing for. I start, showing you how we can use Junie to increase the code coverage. I would like to show you a little bit of this project that again, like it's not in production, but it's something that could be interested to you because well, I mean, now I won't classify myself as a YouTuber, but since now you're watching me, maybe some of you are watching me on YouTube, then like, maybe I am kind of a YouTuber, right? So I so what do all the YouTuber do, right? They all care about the views because that's very important to them, the views. So and then I have an idea today to think of like whether I can improve my view count by having a better title or description, basically like maybe using some keyword to clickbait people. So yeah, so that's why I created this project. So maybe show you a little bit of what this is. So this is a readme file. Again, like this is generated by Junie. The one thing I really love about Junie is that Junie will create a readme file for you. So you know what's going on and you don't have to write something for your team member or other people who want to use that as well. So this is this is like based on a data set that I got from Cargo. So it's a YouTube data CSV. So in that data, so if we can have a look, I hope it's not too big. Okay, so let's have a full view of this. So what this is that like we have a bunch of videos from YouTube. They all have the video ID. So this looks very familiar if you are familiar with YouTube. And also there are like titles for different different videos. So yeah, 5 time tech have saved lives, all cap, cool. And description. So one thing I think also that I didn't pay attention that much when I'm using YouTube are the text, but here it's also got the text. So maybe the text would be very useful to get more view as well. I don't know. And of course, like eventually the view count. There are also likes and comment, but let's make it simple first. Just look at the views. We want more views. So what we can do to make more views. So like yeah, so this is what we do. So in this project, we have the main.py. So we use fast API here that there is a model that is trained and we'll basically take in a link of a YouTube video or a you can just manually put in a title and description. Let's say you have a video that you haven't uploaded, so you don't have a link to the video, and then you're thinking, oh, maybe I can improve on my title and my description. You can also put in a title and a description as one of the endpoints to put into it. So basically that's like just a fast API machine learning project. Again, like today we are not building on the project, we are like doing the test. So let's look at the test. So right now we have written some tests. It's already been written. As you can see, I run it before that the coverage is quite bad. So you can see that we have some yeah, some test function basically, but it's only have 64% coverage. So yeah, there are some that is not covering that much, like it's basically the 100%. Of course, like init.py, there's nothing in there. Of course, there's like 100%, but actually we're missing quite a lot of tests. So yeah, so it's not that good, right? Okay, whether you like tests or not, right? Junie can definitely help you to save some time when you want to increase the coverage. So let's see if Junie can do this. So add more test to increase the code. Okay, so let's give a very general prompt and see how good Junie is doing on this one, and then we can improve afterwards. Yeah. Okay. So again, like but don't worry about the test. I know it's very stressful to think about, like, oh my god, like, I don't pass the because a lot of open source projects have this, right? Like, if you don't increase the test coverage, which means that, like, you haven't write any test for the code changes, or if you um you know or if, like, for example, the code coverage is below a certain percentage, then you basically, your CI will fail. They just fail you because you don't have enough tests. It's very brutal, and that's why Junie can really help in this situation, because sometimes, like, you kind of like think that it's very silly to write a test that is just to cover that line of code. um so hopefully Junie will give us a better option and, like, kind of do that for us. So let's have a look at what Junie have on the menu, right? So first of all, Judy will plan the whole thing, right? So it will examine the project structure to see, what needs to be testing, basically what code is, missing the coverage. So that's good. You see, like, new file, new test, yay. Um, check existing test file to understand, yes, basically check where it's missed. Um, and then, you just have, okay, so you find out that, like, what module and function is lacking the coverage. It even lists it here. So so you can already, like, jump in and check. But since Junie is still working, I don't want to interfere, and I just, like, let Junie do their work, and then I would come back in when Junie is done. um and then, yeah, we need additional test for edge cases. So now edge cases has been created, and now it's go to, like, untested module and function. So now it's writing the test to cover the missing code that is not covered. um yeah, okay, let's look at this new test file and see if anything interesting is going on here. Oh, I love Junie. It's like, it always commented on things as well. Like, it have all the doc string is better than me. I always just, like, I just want to increase the code coverage. Why am I writing doc string? And, like, Junie is doing it. So it's like very good, like, citizens in terms of writing code. Um, yay. Another thumbs up for Junie. Um, yeah, we use a lot of mock here. I think it's, again, like, because this may looks a bit trivial, but um because of how the test system is set up, sometimes you just need to make sure all the code are covered, even though sometimes you think, the test is a bit silly. It's just like, some mock, subject that got returned. But um, we can look at, type hints are not included. Oh, to look at this one as well. Yeah, it just suggests another library we have to install, and it's installed. Okay, cool. Oh, this is I have never seen this before, actually. Like, I know I learned about PyCharm, and PyCharm can install this for you automatically if you need it. That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes, even if it's just mock object, it's just like, but because we want to make sure the code coverage is reaching a certain percentage. So, sometimes you feel like, oh, really silly to write that. But, if you think it's really silly, if you don't want to write it yourself, ask Junie to do it, right? So, like, yeah, it's created. And we'll look at integration tests a bit later. So it's kind of like, hopefully this will be, you know, this can also be a little bit more sophisticated. But, for a unit test, I think, when you have an API to test, right? Basically, it's just like mock object after mock object, and there's, like, a bunch of them. And sometimes it's, yeah, again, like, very tedious to write, and you don't like writing it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's almost done. It's Wow, there's a lot of test file. Okay, so we have errors from the API as well. There's also some, like, main that hasn't been tested, is now testing. Um, okay, so now Junie is verifying. Because the main goal of writing tests is to catch the bugs and fix them, right? Like, if you're not fixing anything, then, like, why you're writing the test? So Junie is already doing that. Like, it's already running the test and see if, like, they pass. And I think if it's not, then it will just, like, go back and look at what's going on and try to fix it. Which is something that a developer would normally do, right? Like when you write a test, it fails, then you have to understand what's going on with it and see if yeah, if it's like the test that you write is, maybe you shouldn't be test that way, or if it's the code that basically have an issue, then you just discover it, which is a good thing. Then now you have a chance to fix it. So Junie is running the test right now. Yeah, so if you want to know more, I think you can of course go to our official website for Junie to check more information about Junie. But another thing you could do is to join our Discord server, and you can ask the Junie devs questions directly, which is super cool. So that's Junie. But again, like even though if there's like two agents, right, two coding agents, um, if even if they're using the same LLM, like is not everything about it, because LLM, of course, is a very important part of the AI agent. Um, but how the agentic part, the part that is built is also very very important. I think one thing about Junie that works really well in our IDEs is that Junie also give a lot of context that is very very useful um, in getting the job done to the LLM as well. So um, I always think like, yeah, people use a lot of these like LLM models for their work, but it may not be as efficient to use the agentic AI like Junie to get their work done, because again, like LLM is just one part of the agent, but for other parts, of course, like is what you feed into the LLM, right? So yeah, so that's the thing. And again, like also, that's something Junie could do is to iterate, because for example, you can see that Junie have done a couple of times running Pytest now. Probably something doesn't pass and need to be fixed. So if you are just using a LLM, probably that is not that is not uh, that good in that sense, that you may like get some code suggestions from your LLM, and then you like implement it yourself, but then like it doesn't really work, and then like you have to now manually go back to your LLM and like do another. But like Junie take care of all of them for you. So um yeah. Okay, so it seems like Junie needs to fix something and is working hard on it. Train model.py, there's also some issues that need to be fixed. So again, like Junie is a whole package of doing all of these all these steps, right? Like imagine how many back and forth you need to do if you are just using an LLM yourself. Is is really tedious, and that makes you appreciate like the team that has been like make put all this all together and then make a tool that can just you know get things done in just one command. You just type in a prompt. I just type in a prompt, and now it's like all of this has been taken care of. And technically, if I'm not running a live stream, I can now like go get an ice cream because it's super hot. So like it's such a you know improvement, life improvement, I would say. um but again, uh always like I always give people this like counterbalance of like yeah, we got all these like amazing tool, but since all these tools are new, so maybe even Junie is amazing, maybe you can also like sometimes have to be more hands on it, like after Junie have done this, maybe double check, have a look at the code, and have a look at what Junie has done. That's always I advise people when they're using AI, not just like completely. Well, it's very convenient, but not just like completely lean on it, but also um, understand more about it. Right? Like that's why I joined the Discord server. Learn more about Junie. Okay, enough advertisement. I think yeah, this take a while because again, like Junie need a lot of iteration. I think it's just finding more and more issues here. So it's like fix all these things. Um that's what's going on. So I guess now is a very good time for question and answers. So I will try my best to answer your questions. But you know um yeah, while Junie is finding all these issues that our code has, probably Yeah, so is Junie replacing AI assistant? Um, Again, like the uh, so Junie is an agentic AI. So you can see it, you see Junie in action right now, right? Again, like the benefit of using Junie is that with one command, everything has been done for you. So it could work on the whole project. It know how to reiterate if, like for example, running some tests and something need to be fixed, it would just go there and fix it. You don't have to, go there and tell it to like, oh, fix it since, now the tests fail. For AI assistant, it's good when you only have a specific things that you want to do. So with AI assistants, you are more hands-on because you are going there and, maybe highlight a code snippet, for example, like this, highlight this, and then maybe you want to refactor it, or maybe you want to see if there are some specific issues. So I don't think that one is replacing another because there are still times that I think AI assistant is more suitable. For example, you don't want to have everything in your project change, right? Because for Junie, you can't control like which file it touches and changes. You can of course use like git and like or use a guideline.md to tell Junie don't touch those things. But sometimes where you want to work on, and you just want to work on that specific place. For example, if you have a huge project, you may only want to touch one file, right? Then maybe in those situations it's not that good to use Junie, because again, like you need more control. You need to make sure that changes are local. Then I think AI system may be a better choice for you for those situations. Also, I know Junie now is like you can also change the model, but I think the selection are not as great as as wide as AI assistant. AI assistant, you can use a lot of model that we provide, but also you can use your own local model, which is something, or self-host model, which is something that people really need, because their company may have some privacy policies that they can't even so for example, right, Junie is sending all this context of the project to the LLM somewhere. For some company, like that is a big no-no for their privacy policies. Then they can only have access to the self-host machine, or their local machine. Then they have to use a local model. So for that, um, I hope Junie will support it in the future. But right now, as far as I know, AI Assistant is supporting it. And yeah, so that's something also I think people would found it very valuable to use it at work. So let's have a look at all these tests. um okay, test YouTube util functionality. So this is using a um kind of YouTube client. I don't know if it's like third party, or is it like but it's using something called like PyTube. I think that's in the dependency. So um yeah, so we have a file that is like doing all this utils, so now it's like testing it. Not a file, I mean like a class that's doing all this. So yeah, it's in the util, it's in yeah, so it's the YouTube util. So it's like having all this. Yeah, it's using magic mock again, because this involve a lot of API calls. That's why it's use a lot of mock objects, and also patching of Pytest. Um, yeah, so basically what this does is that Pytest provide these patches, which is okay. I think again, like I overloaded the memory probably because I'm streaming, and maybe I need a more powerful machine for that. Um, yeah, let's see if Junie's still doing okay. Okay, Junie's still doing okay. Okay, good. So yeah, like basically what patch works is that um it would it could it would just replace one object with another. For example, now we are patching the this YouTube object, so we are replacing it with another object that would have. So it will basically, from the outside, looks like the original object, but without all the functionality, because within your original object, it may make a API call to a server. But since we are testing it, like we're running unit tests, we may not have the server running, or we don't want to make that API call to a third party server. So um, what we do is that we will create an object that would give a response. It's a static, it's a hard coded response, but it will give a response that mimic the response you're expecting from the server, or so you don't need to have the server running to run the test. So that's the patching and mocking work. So mocking is creating that mimic object, and patching is replacing it. So that's, you can see that very often when you're, again, like if you're using for example, Fast API, or you are checking a client that works with a third party server, then like you would have um, this a lot, because it involves a lot of API call. And when you run your unit test, you may not want to make those calls very often. So first of all, it's like it may be slow. And for example, if the server is charging you, API, charging you for each API call, right? So then you may not want to run those tests all the time, because like when you run your test, you may not want to make the API call. You may only want to make the API call when you are like when so first test this, so this is fine. Then um after after this is fine, then you want to make sure the server works with it. Then you do the integration test, and then at that time you will make the real API call. So before that, we will just use this mimic to stand in for the API call, which may cost you money, or maybe server is not ready yet. So right. So yeah, now it's running on the Pytest test file. Hopefully it's fine. It has been multiple iteration, and you see like all this test file that has been created is this crazy. Imagine you have to write all of this yourself. You'll be like, it'll take you a whole week of like very boring work to get all this done, but then you will be an expert in like magic mock and patch. Yay. Yeah, yeah, you will use those. Um, so uh so that's that. You see, is there anything funny that you want to have a look? So that's again, like very standard, lots of patching, lots of mocking. um then you want to see if like if everything works, the result is what is expected. Yeah, if the output data is what you hard coded in, that kind of things. Yeah, so it's still very hard at work. So this is a very again, like this is a very long prompt, because it is doing the iteration to make sure the test works, right? Because it generates so much test every time you generate a new test. You may find a bug, you have to fix it, and then now something else may be broken, and then you have to go and fix it again. So yeah, it's a very, very long prompt. So this is one of the prompts that, like, when I'm running it, I'm usually doing something else in the background. I may be looking at another project, or I may be like replying emails, or maybe again, like I really want an ice cream right now, so maybe I'm going to get an ice cream. So yeah. Now the model training function. Okay, um so now it's checking the code coverage. Has it been improved? So you can see the API coverage is quite good. It's 91%. So all these patching and mocking works. So it's quite good. However, the YouTube utility function is a bit lower. It's like only 87%. The model training is not that well. It's only 38% overall. So yeah, this is the overall. So this is like, I think this may be what it is before. And so it's still quite low, 65. What was it before? Okay, 64. So after all this hard work is only 65? It's only 1% increase? No way. Is it though? Okay, let's have a look of the previous. So utils model train model 37 89. So I think the train model is the worst coverage that we have here. Maybe we need to work on that one in the next prompt. We can ask Junie to focus on that. Um, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Finally, Junie's done. Oh, okay. 71. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, that was kind of maybe an intermediate stage. So now we have 70. When would Junie be in rider? I really wish. I think the team is working really hard on it. But again, like join the Discord server, ask the dev. They will have the newest information. I know they're working really hard on it, but I just don't know when. Okay. Right. So it's quite good. We have like we go from 64 to 71, although it's like a lot of hard work for Junie to get it done. But I think in the meantime it's also fixed a lot of bugs. So it's good. So again, like we see that the model training one is probably the worst right now. But let us verify it again. So let's have a look at code coverage. Oh, we have a lot. We have a lot of failed tests. Junie, you haven't fixed all the tests. But okay, so it's like 95%. So according to this, is quite good, but we have a lot of failed tests that need to be fixed. So let's see. Oh, so this okay. So what happened is like these the test basically testing the output and yeah. So this is again like you know is it really a fail because like it's just like having some spaces that it should be quite easy to fix. Df is not defined. Okay, so what should we do now? Do you want to go into each one of them to fix, or we ask Junie to fix it? So okay, so maybe we can ask Junie to fix it. Fixed failed. Okay, this may not be a good prompt because this one seems like I'm asking Junie to fix the test but not the code. So resolve issues with failed Pytest. Okay, I think this is better. Because we are fixing the issue. So coverage is yeah, that's the point. Like coverage is increased, but no one asked for green testers. Maybe at the first prompt we do is like not specific enough to ask for all the tests to be passed. So yeah, so we will follow up with another prompt. Don't worry, we'll follow up with another prompt. Ask Junie to be like, hey, it needs to be green. Come on, show me the green. Don't show me the red. I don't like it. Okay. Yeah, like I mean, we just kind of you can put two in one prompt, right? You can say like increase the code coverage and make sure the test pass, but then it would take very long time, right? Because Junie is like doing a lot of back and forth already, so now it would take even longer if we do all of them in one go. So yeah, so maybe it's a good thing that we break it down. um hmm Yeah, so it looks at all the errors, which is very good. Like this is exactly what we saw in the Pytest, right? So basically what Junie has done, I suspect, well, basically, I don't have to suspect because it's basically telling me that, yeah, run the Pytest test and then it will see what are the errors. So now it's like, so it just looks like what I would do when I'm fixing it. Is like look at each error, is like, okay, what's going on with that one? Check it and then fix it. So it's pretty cool. I also like, it's showing me the logic, so I kind of like, you know, can see if it makes sense or not, right? How much usage one prompt or task could take? Yeah, I think we have heard that feedback quite a lot. I think in this, okay, so right now we only have like medium, small, medium, large, right? For the usage. uh I think it's because it's the measurement is not that straightforward. Because, for example, right, you do a prompt, and you have seen that like it has a lot of back and forth. For example, the previous one, it takes so long, and probably Junie need to reiterate and talk to the LLM again, and like um, so even for you know is not even counting like how big the prompt is. Sometimes you type a paragraph, but maybe like is doing more hand holding for juniors, takes less iteration, it have less bug, and then things go smoothly. Then it may be using less resources than you know a very generic prompts that need a lot of iteration. So it's not that straightforward to measure, and I think that's why yeah right now this is what it is. But again, like, this is my speculation. Again, like, this is very internal knowledge. I think the Junie team may have a better idea, but it's just my speculation that because of how an agentic AI work is not very straightforward to measure usage exactly. So um yeah, that's why it is what it is right now. But yeah, we do hear the feedback. I hope the team come up with something that make everybody's happy, and like kind of you know easier to estimate how much they need. But I I guess right now, like, we can only tell the users to be like, hey, just pay attention of the progress bar, and just try have a feeling of what normally you need. And if let's say you take a holiday for a month, of course you're using less. But if you like have a big project, have a tight deadline, you use Junior a lot, then yeah. But again, like, it's very hard to have exact measurement. We are just going by the feelings right now. It's just because the nature of the technology is designed. So yeah, unfortunately there is no simple solution yet. Yeah. Yeah, one thing I would suggest users is that don't use a lot of follow-up prompts. I think it may not be the case, but during the test, before the public release, what I experience is that if I use a very, very long follow-up prompts, for example, like I put all of these in follow-ups, then it will run out fairly quickly. Than just so that's the experience that I have. So maybe don't use many, many follow-up prompts. Just use it when it makes sense. Yeah, I would say the so usually if I tell Junie to increase the code coverage, I would most of the time I would give a target to it. So you see the previous prompt that I made, I'm just trying it to make it very general to see how much Junie will give, like without without a guy, like what percentage Junie would try to aim for. But it seems like it's kind of random, because Junie is just trying to it would just check whether it's increased. Even if it's increased by 1%, I think Junie will still be happy and just stop there. um but so that's why I think it's always a better idea to tell Junie, like, for example, increase code coverage to a certain percentage, like 80%, 90%. So when Junie is testing it before handing it back to you, then it makes sure that that percentage is achieved. Also, you can tell Junie that, like, please make sure the test pass, because again, like, nobody's telling it to be like, yeah, okay, well, fine, we'll just follow up with another prompt. But um yeah, like, usually have a target, and also be more specific is better. um yeah, because Junie is really cool, but it's still an AI. You are still the user. You still have to be specific about what you want, because you know it's just like using any tools. You have to be specific on what you're trying to achieve. Yeah. Solving tasks per downtime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know, like the term vibe coding is kind of, funny, I think. Like that, I sometimes use it in a like a kind of a meme way because, yeah, technically, like, so what is coding, right? Like, I I think, um yeah, Junie is like a tool that can help us to get this done. But again, like whether it would do a good job and achieve what we want it to achieve is also depends on how specific we are at our prompt. But also, like after it has finished the job, right, it's up to you to verify it, and maybe sometimes you have to come up with the solution yourself and tell Junie what to do to fix it rather than just, investigate and fix it. Sometimes Junie can do, but I think there are times when I'm using Junie that I may have to be, do the investigation myself and find out what the issue actually is and tell Junie to fix it. Um, Again, right? Like if you are already using our product, I think one thing that Junie is really good is that it really integrates very well. Is using the feature that is, that is already in the IDE. So it's not just about the model, right? So that's like the whole experience of whether, at the end of the day, like whether you feel happy after using it is very important. So for a product. So um yeah, so like if you love using our IDE, like why struggle and not use something that works very well with it, right? So that's my opinion. um and also Junie is very hardworking, you see. Is okay, so what Junie have done, so let's have a look. So like I said before, Junie has do a lot of amazing thing. It has um so it's run the test, it's identify all the bugs, all the errors, and then it go to look at each specific failing test. So that's what something, again, like this something I would do, right? I was like, okay, I want to now, tackle them one at a time. So look at this, error, and then probably I just want to run that test to be more specific about what's going on. And so that's like for each one of them, right? And then, just run that test and then find out why it's failing, um, and then fix them one by one, makes necessary changes. So that's the difference, right? Like for me, is that like I would be like, oh, this is the test that failed. Look at this test only, and then find where it fails, and then fix that error. And then when it's green, move on to the next one. But it seems like Junie is only, documented. So Junie would collect all of these, um, fails, collect where all the bugs are, and fix them all in one go. So this is quite different from what I would work. But yeah, this is quite interesting actually. I don't know if it makes a difference because it seems to like fix everything right after it founds all the bugs. So it's not like tackling one at a time. Or maybe these are okay. So maybe all of these belongs to fixing one thing. So yeah, maybe I need to fix multiple things to get rid of one error. So maybe that's why it's so long. Um. Oh, it seems like Junie is done. Let's see how good Junie works. Right. Okay. Let's run the Pytest again. Let's see if it's green. Or maybe some yellow. There's some yellow there, but let's not worry too much about it right now. I just don't want the red. It still have some red. Okay, but the code coverage is very high right now. So again, I think it will need another iteration to fix other bug, or maybe this time. So what I would do usually, if it's like if a very general prompt fail, I would then be more specific. I'll be like, okay, Junie, you may need more hand holding. So I will look into it and then see like what's going on with this, and I will specifically maybe ask Junie to just fix this. So a lot of times what I do is that I would go from a more general kind of approach to see if it works, if it works great, then I don't have to do too many things. I would just come back after my ice cream and everybody's happy. But a lot of cases is that it's not, because it still kind of doesn't fulfill everything, right? It still have some fails that I have to give more hand holding to Junie. It can happen again. Like Junie is a tool; it's not magic. It can still have some issues that you have to be, you have to come in to intervene, right? So, so for example, at this stage, I don't know if we have time, because it may take quite a while to fix off them. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do is that I will come in and look at each one of these, and then investigate a little bit myself to see what are the issues. Then I'll work with Junie to fix it. And also now, like, because I'm using Python 3.13, all the coloring or the highlight is show me quite obvious that, like, which part of the code is failing. So maybe I can look at that specific part myself more. um so yeah, again, like, Junie is a very convenient tool. It already helped me like a lot, right? Like, so imagine I have to write all this test myself, and then now I'm fixing it. But you know how long does it take for me to write 99% like code? So now it's just some sharp corner that need polishing, which is like making sure all of these um go green. We have 5 fails. Yeah, we have 5 fails. So we just need to fix those 5 errors, and then we are done. Which can be, a week of work can just be maybe like a few hours. So, yeah, but yeah, that's what I would do right now at this stage. Only 5 errors. I just need to come in and fix them either by myself or work with Junie to fix those. But I would not give Junie another general prompt right now, because um it may work if you can just like give it another like fix issue prompt. But I think now it may be more efficient to look at it yourself. So um I think that's it for today's demo. It's like, just a very short one to show, like, you can increase code coverage to 99% with Junie's help and a little bit of patience. um yeah, but as a developer, you still have to come in at some point. Junie is a very convenient tool, but it's not magic. It doesn't you know always work perfectly. You still have to, as a human, you still have to, like, use your wisdom to to solve the last bit of issue, polish the last bit of the sharp edges. But it does save you a lot of time and lots of tedious work. Now you have the fun bit of, like, figuring out what's going on. So yeah. Any more questions? If not, I think that's it for this live stream. Thank you very much for joining, and make sure you join the Discord server. If Victoria can, like, put the link to the Discord server here again, it would be great, because there you can get the latest news about Junie. Junie is developing very quickly. There may be new things coming up very quickly, and um just stay in touch, and then all the news will be there. um and also, if you have questions, questions that I don't even know because it's super internal or super technical deep dive, then maybe you can ask the dev there, because they are all awesome people. And you see, they their work is amazing, right? Like, Junie is so good. And you know yeah, so be part of the family, join the Discord. And I'm also there. But again, like, I think for the people at the devs, they may be the people who know the best. So but I will still be there hanging out. And hopefully, if it's not too difficult, maybe I can also help answering some questions. um so thank you very much for coming to the live stream, and I will see you on Discord. Bye.